Hey YouTube, Victor here, All Time Greats blog, your rookie card resource. On this channel we examine the past and present day status of the rookie card, all in an effort to better understand this cultural icon. Well, today I just want to share with you some hobby thoughts and share with you my Shaquille O'Neal rookie card collection. But first, I want to thank my new subscribers. On February 27th, 2021, I had the opportunity to be a guest on Sports Cards Live with Jeremy. Within a day or so, I saw a strong spike in subscribers, and I just want to take this moment to thank you and welcome you to this channel. Thank you for subscribing. I typically come out with a new video every 10 to 14 days, and the reasons I do that is because I want to give you guys quality content, but I also have a website, alltimegreats.blog, where I am constantly writing articles and that sort of thing. So I am always creating content either for my website or for my YouTube channel. So therefore, in order to keep balance of the two, I opted to just do a video every 10 to 14 days. I connected with Jeremy months ago through Instagram, and I meant to talk to him about his episode on the personal finance dad on February 22nd, but time got away from us. It was on that show I heard him say that he was going to have on a legal analyst on his show on an upcoming episode. I was intrigued by this because I thought he had gotten somebody from the Players Association. And so I reached out to him, I sent him a direct message and asked him, hey, you know, you got somebody from the Players Association coming on? And he assured me that he didn't. And shortly thereafter, he messaged me back asking me if I was willing to come on the show with him this coming Saturday. So I accepted his invitation and we had an absolute blast. I was scheduled for an hour and 30-minute show, and we took every bit of 2 hours and 20 minutes, and we probably could have gone on longer. As a thank you and a tribute to Jay Lee, I want to share with everybody my Shaquille O'Neal collection because that's a common interest that him and I share. But I'll be showing that here in a moment. I want to talk to you for a minute about that show that Jeremy was on with the personal finance dad. That episode was featured on February 22nd. Jay Lee is typically the interviewer, but this time he was the interviewee. And as he was being asked certain questions, he was giving some very insightful responses. I mean, he was dropping some knowledge bombs on the audience. And I'm going to leave a link to that video in the description down below because I highly recommend that you take a moment and watch that episode and listen to what Jeremy has to say on certain topics. Just to give you a little glimpse, Jeremy was giving insights on the market in the 1990s and now. They had a great segment on non-sport. Jay Lee talked about expanding your interest, about the differences between gambling on new guys and investing in the GOATs. He talked about the dangers of the flipping game. Flipping your way to better cards might be a great strategy in an upswing market, but that can quickly go bad for you. So long-term strategy, got to be very, very careful. My point is, there was so much meat and potatoes in that episode that I asked Jeremy's permission if I can write an article on that topic for my website. And I typically don't do that unless the material is extremely good. I've said it before and I'll say it again. One of the best things that we can do is listen to the advice given to us by these seasoned collectors. Imagine the hobby knowledge and the experience of a collector who's been collecting for 30, 40, 50 plus years. I'm a big advocate for learning. That's how come at the end of my video or a blog post, I will give the disclaimer to learn, collect, and enjoy. In our excitement of buying, selling, flipping, and investing, I feel that sometimes we can become consumers, where all we do is consume. And long term, what happens is we're going to become dissatisfied with the hobby. But if we were to slow down for just a bit and add to our collecting learning, well, now that brings about a completely different dynamic. And I find that when I attach learning to my collecting, I'm very satisfied and it brings about a lot of enjoyment. And so I challenge us all, you know, when was the last time you read a book on the hobby? When was the last time you read the back of a sports card? Or are we just consumed with the buying and selling and flipping and investing? See what I'm saying? That's that type of behavior leaves us dissatisfied long term. Times like these, you know where you're going to find these knowledgeable, experienced collectors? You're going to find them in the dollar boxes. Why? Because they have so much skill at identifying undervalued cards. You'll see these old timers, they'll leave a show with a big smile on their face while everyone else is chasing their tail looking for the next big hit. Well, with all that said, I want to get into hobby happenings. Now, I typically don't discuss hobby happenings because I don't want to be another voice in the wilderness. There is a ton of people talking about hobby happenings, and I just decided not to take that angle. But on occasion, I will make an exception. And I do want to take a minute to talk about the PSA's recent price increase, because I feel like it directly affects me as well. Now, I see and hear the uproar within the hobby, and I find it to be totally understandable. It's definitely making us all rethink some things. My biggest issue was I couldn't comprehend how a company was backlogged the way they are, and they have competition by two other competitors that are looming in the background, waiting to bump them off the throne per se, and yet they have the stones to go ahead and double the prices. It was just, to me, business-wise, I just thought it was very gutsy move for them. But I don't remember where I heard it from, but listening to everybody, I kind of lose track of the sources, but somebody had said that it was a calculated risk, and I think they got that pretty accurate. It's something that I think they had to do, so be it. It's where we're at. So it's up to us then to deal with it. It's up to us then to decide where we're at and how we're going to move forward. Where am I at with it? I'm going to stay the course. I hear a lot of people saying that they're not going to send in base cards anymore, that we need to quit sending in base cards, and that it'll prevent all of this from happening. I would agree with that statement if I were a flipper and it was all about making money. Then I can see having an issue sending a base card, because I'll take the risk of it coming back a 9 and not getting enough money to cover the cost of grading it. The cards I typically submit are low to mid-range in value, and I don't plan on stopping that. My zag per se is going to be in the amount of cards that I send in. Now, I typically send in 10 to 20 cards every month, but now with the price hike, I feel like I'm going to tone that down from 10 to 20 cards a month to perhaps 5 to 10 cards a month to help offset that cost increase. Well, some say, well, if you get that card in a 9, it's not worth the grading cost. Again, true if I'm trying to make money. But my cards are going to my PC. And my view on that is PSA 9s are just fine. So stay positive. Let's figure out a way to zag instead of throwing in the towel. Enough yapping. Let's look at some cards. Okay, folks, so here we go. We're going to get started. The PSA set registry for Shaquille O'Neal's rookie cards has 7 cards listed in it. We're going to be taking a look at those 7 cards along with a few bonus babies. Shaq has a lot of nicknames. He's also known as the Big Aristotle, Hobo Master, Shaq, the Diesel, Shaq Fu, the Big Daddy, Superman, the Big Agave, the Big Cactus, the Big Shactus, the Big Galactus, Wilt Chamberneezy, the Big Barishnikov, the Real Deal, the Big Shamrock, the Big Leprechaun, Shakovic, and the Big Conductor. In case you're wondering, that's a total of 18 nicknames. But the most memorable nickname that has been given to him was by his high school coach and college coaches. For many years, he was referred to as Big Ol' Some Bitch. You can hear Shaq tell this story if you go on YouTube and you look up Shaquille O'Neal's Hall of Fame speech and listen to that story of his coaches, the nickname that they had for him all throughout his years. It's hilarious. But anyways, I just love this guy. He's bigger than life. He's a good role model. He's an excellent businessman. You see his face just about everywhere. And I've always been a big Shaq fan. Next up, I'm going to show you his Hoops rookie. Featured here. Very nice card. Really respectable card design by the at the time, the wallet-friendly Hoops brand. Very friendly white borders. Blend very nicely with the gold ribbon around the card. And he seems to be going in for his iconic two-handed dunk. The card back isn't too bad. Somewhat basic, but for the day, I think it got the job done very nicely. I do appreciate all facets of the card. The design, the front, the back, and I always look for little details that stand out to me. It's part of the, I guess, the fun that I have with collecting cards. Here we see the 1992 Skybox Shaquille O'Neal. This one is considered a short print, but I don't know a lot of details about that. But some collectors love this card design and others hate it. The biggest complaint is that huge transparent red banner on the card front, but personally I have no issue with it. I love the full team logo on the lower left hand corner, and that Skybox rookie emblem on the lower right is a really nice touch too. But the card back kind of upsets me somewhat. If you see here, you see some stats, a stat box, which in my opinion is extremely difficult to read. And it shows an image of Shaquille O'Neal rapping, and it takes up almost the entire backside of the card. But the kicker is in the 7-word sentence that states, Shaquille majored in business at Louisiana State. And I'm like, what? Why does it mention that? Why didn't it mention something about his music career? Back in that time, Shaq had albums out, but it makes no reference of his musical abilities or his musical accolades per se. Instead, it just mentions that he has a business degree. Okay. So I just thought, a little miscue there. It's not a big deal. I just wish they would have done more with that. Next up, we're going to take a look at the 1992-93 Stadium Club. Now, historically, at the time, the Stadium brand prides itself on quality photography. I'm not really sure what happened here, though. To me, this is a really busy card, really busy photograph. Shaq appears to be coming down with a rebound, but there seems to be so much of the audience pictured that it distracts me. I feel like I lose him in the crowd almost. Now, I don't care for that lower left emblem either. On the lower left-hand corner, they vertically stacked Shaq's name, the card model, and manufacturer. It kind of reminds me of like a totem pole. Just sitting there. Everything's just like stacked on top of one another there. And the card back, oh boy, where do I start? Well, taking into consideration that it was the early 90s, I'll give them an A for effort. But this ginormous, blurry basketball net combo, for me, is brutal. Try to read them little tiny font letters over that blurred up basketball there. Very difficult to read anything. Next up, I want to show you the 1992 Topps Shaquille O'Neal. Now, I do have the gold. I have a couple of golds, but I do not have them graded. I need to dig them out so I can send them in to get graded. But here, the big man is pictured posting up in the paint, a place where he earned his bread and butter, and he was a force to be reckoned with in this position, making this a very respectable rookie card. Also worth noting here, this was Topps' first basketball offering to collectors since 1981. So that's kind of cool. The card back is not very attractive. Lots of big text boxes, very bright. But overall, it's decent. I like it. I can respect it. Next up, I want to show you this beautiful 1992-93 Ultra. Really love this card. This was new kid on the block here. Fleer Ultra gave collectors their first basketball offering after a very successful 1991 baseball debut. By definition, the word ultra means going beyond what is usual or ordinary. And so if by its very definition they set out to break the mold of mediocrity, they succeeded. You have crisp, clear photography coupled with an imitation marble banner there at the bottom. It's highlighted by gold foil, makes this a very unique card design. And the card back is a stroke of genius as well. Look at how beautiful that card is. Lots of eye appeal. Lastly, the 7th card in the set registry is the 1992-93 Upper Deck. Now there's a story behind this one, a couple of stories actually. First off, when I was putting this set together, these cards were selling just about every single day in about the $300 to $350 range. And I was trying to pick one up, but I was bidding about $300, $320, and I was constantly being outbid. And unfortunately, at times I have a lapse in judgment and I become a lighthouse label snob. And so I let a lot of them go by being outbid. And so I waited, a few weeks go by, next thing you know, this thing is selling for about $500. And I'm starting to panic. Again, I start bidding, and now I keep losing out. And so I just forgot about it and just went on to other things. I came back a few months later, and this thing is now a comma card. And I was like, oh my goodness, I missed the boat here. I really dropped the ball. So lesson learned. But I said, hey, what's wrong with a PSA 9? Absolutely nothing. So I picked this beauty up in a PSA 9. As far as the set registry goes, I do not get into the competitive side of it. I know a lot of people say, why do you even bother? Well, because I like the checklist concept. I like collecting all of their rookie cards per se. You can't do it with these younger guys because they have so many, but these old cats from the 90s, it's doable to collect all of their rookie cards. And so that's how come I like the set registry. And there is just something, man, when you complete a set registry, you have such a sense of gratification within your hobby efforts. It's like all the hard work you put in, all the focus, all the sacrifice, it's like everything is just coming together and you feel very accomplished as a collector. And I love the pursuit of completing a set registry. That's, to me, is what makes all the fun. So this card has a very interesting backstory because Shaq was under contract with Classic, and it was a 4-sport card manufacturer back in the 80s and 90s. Classic printed cards while players were in the minor leagues or in college uniform because they were not licensed at the pro level. So since Shaq was under contract, many of the mainstream card manufacturers had to wait to include Shaq into their 1992-93 set. Some manufacturers just waited to include him into Series 2 products, and other manufacturers created redemption cards. So that's kind of the story behind this one. There's 2 types of versions of this card. Upper Deck pushed the envelope a bit by creating this card that actually pictured Shaq in 3 separate frames like you see here. 2 versions exist of the exact same card. The redemption card was first available in Series 1 packs with the word trade card etched in gold foil across the top front. This was technically a redemption card. The exact card front as the redemption, except for #1 NBA draft pick, was etched in gold foil across the top front of the card. Again, a really creative manufacturing shenanigan to work around that contract issue. This one right here is Shaq's most valuable rookie card. I had a few more to show you here. The 1992 Skybox draft pick, Shaquille O'Neal. Now this was Skybox's offering to collectors once they mailed in their redemption card. This one was not considered a rookie card because Skybox decided to create this as a subset. It's like you see the numbering there, DP1, draft pick number 1. So they literally created a subset as the redemption prize. So that does not qualify because it is not part of the base set. Card back is kind of plain on that one. Nothing to really brag about. I have 1992 Ultra All Rookies. This is again another subset created. They included Shaquille O'Neal as card number 7. It is not a rookie card. It is a rookie year card. And it's a great looking card, a great early card of Shaquille O'Neal. Card back is pretty decent, really nice design, like that. And I'll show you this one here, which I really enjoy a lot. The 1995 Flair Hot Numbers. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. The camera doesn't do it any justice. You look at this thing in real life and it literally like hypnotizes you. Just a great, fabulous card. Well, this is going to be it for this video. I appreciate you taking the time to tune in, and stay tuned for my next video as we do another series of rookie card exercises. Until then, remember to always learn, collect, and enjoy. I'll catch you on the next one.